Great. Hello, everyone. Let us see. Yes, and we're live.
We are live.
And
This
we are
Right.
propagating.
cool.
Do we have, guys, do we have the thumbs up?
We do. It looks like we're good to go.
Fantastic, fantastic. So, hi, everyone. This is Giovanni, and this is Gimbalabs weekly update. This is the number 24, and we give you a very warm welcome to everyone. And as usual, every week that we do our Gimbalabs, we go through what happened during the week, and we start from the shout outs, what we've done, what are our next step, and what we want you guys that are listening to us today do as your next step. And last but not the least, there is the Q&A session that is available via YouTube. So post your comments there and let us know what you want to know from us. So this has been an extremely eventful, hot week for Cardano. Behind the scene, there is so much that is happening. And also in the public thing, so there's so much that is going on that is absolutely overwhelming. There is history in the making, as James used to say, and I'm gonna make this sentence mine. We have first of all,
I just realized there's a typo here because apparently my word processor doesn't know the word Plutus yet.
Plates.
I think it will soon.
As long as it's not the Pilates, that is really hard. Everything else is fine. Right. So we start from the shout outs. I think I can go for this one. The first cohort of the Plutus pioneers. It was an honor being one of these, and it has led me in places I would have never thought just a few months ago, and even just a few days ago. As a few of you know, I am not only a Plutus pioneer, but I'm also an Alonzo Blue pioneer. And I'm going to give a little bit of an update in a few minutes. But this has been an amazing journey, and I'm extremely happy to say that the second cohort is starting today, and actually yesterday, but today is the first day where the lesson is available, etc. So there is another journey of many other people like me, like James, that are going to embark this wonderful journey with all the IHK team. Lars, first of all, is one heck of a professor. He's so knowledgeable, so clear when he explains. It's absolutely an amazing journey, and it's great that they're doing it, and it's fantastic to be there. And I guess this one is for you, James, I guess, right?
Just another word on Lars. I mean, he always deserves a shout out, and he's so funny too. I find myself just cracking up, and he just has these like passing hilarious jokes that he just drops in his very unassuming way. It's so good. Like when he tells you to, if you blur your eyes, this code kind of looks like that code, you know.
He squint.
Yeah, I think it's squint. Yeah. Love that. I mean, so more on Plutus this week. I'm excited to just do the Pioneers lectures again, because things are always evolving, and it's just another chance to make sure that we're really understanding things. And on that note, a couple of people jumped in to our call to action to start engaging in some project-based learning together. In particular, yesterday, Ken Pecky led our first collaborative programming session. Jumped into the Discord server, shared his screen, and we were hacking away at just trying to make a basic, the gift contract that Lars covers in the second lecture of the first iteration of Plutus Pioneers. We're just trying to get that to work with, via the PAB, and to be able to access it through an endpoint. And it's really engaging to have people to talk through that with, he was fearless, and it was just a really good conversation. On the same note, Will, Christo, and Mike were the first people to jump into our offer. A few more have followed, and so we'll be getting together on Monday just to connect, talk through our solutions for the first puzzle we gave ourselves, and then to talk about some next steps. But, especially if you don't feel confident about your Plutus skills and you're looking for people to try some things together with, it really feels like we're at the beginning of a really special little community of people who just want to understand how these things work and build something that's going to make a difference.
Do we want to leave George last so that I can transition into the next phase?
Sure, absolutely. And I'll skip ahead. So today is a really special day. It's the 1-year anniversary of the Cardano Shelley Summit last July. And that summit was a lot of things for a lot of people. I think 10,000 people showed up. Did you guys watch any of that?
Yeah.
From quarantine a year ago? Yeah. I mean, I was 100% a Cardano lurker until then. And that was really the first event that I went to and started talking to people. And one of the people I started talking to is Sydney Nicholas, and he and I ended up talking all summer. And I we had a chance to talk on the phone yesterday for the first time in a little while, and it was just really nice to catch up. And we're looking forward to having a little Afro FinLab reunion show in July or August. But yeah, those conversations really helped me clarify my thinking about what I was hoping to accomplish in this space. And Sydney will always be a true friend and thought partner for that. We jumped right back in. Unfortunately, we both had other meetings to get to, because otherwise we would have ended up talking for 3 hours like we usually do. So yeah, much more to come on that, but it's really exciting to think about being a year removed from the Shelley Summit, and to know that only a year ago we still didn't have public nodes running on mainnet, and how far we've come and how quickly D got to 0, and so similar spot here as we approach Plutus being on mainnet, and just a really nice chance to kind of take some perspective.
Cool.
All right,
and
what about history?
Cool. So I'm gonna get the last one. George, shout out to George. Iron Fortress on Discord. So last night I received the DM after a couple of days of testing, of Alonzo Blue testing. I got a little bit of a point of impasse. I just couldn't make some smart contracts to work. That is like the next iteration of testing in Alonzo Blue. And I got a message from Kevin Hammond in person, which of course we make a shout out to him as well. Unbelievable engineer as well. So he sent me a message and he said, look, we've managed to run those sorts of contracts in QA, but what we notice is that you should raise a little bit the fee, because that could be one of the reasons. So I touched base with George. He is another Plutus pioneer, extremely knowledgeable in Haskell. Thank you very much for all your insight and all your very precious lesson. And then I messaged him. I was like, look, I know that he was in a different time zone. It was earlier for him. I was like 10:30 for me. I was like, do you want to jump on for a little bit of pair session? Because Kevin Hammond said that we should be able to do this if we pay a little bit higher fees. He didn't think about it twice. He jumped on the laptop, and 10 minutes later, we were there back into testing the smart contracts again. I can see a ready question from the crowd that is asking what was the smart contract that I was running. So in the previous iteration of testing, we were basically... I don't want to go into too many details, but a particular aspect of smart contracts is the so-called validation script. So there is this piece of code that is Haskell, that is like a very important core part of the smart contracts, and that is actually the part that runs on the blockchain, that ensures that the smart contracts respects the rules of the smart contract itself. And in the previous set of testing that we were doing, we were using a very, very simple validation rule that was basically not checking anything. That's basically the proof of concept as smart contracts were working. Of course, the approach is to make the testing more and more complicated and test more and more complicated paths. So we are now at a point whereby we want to test an actual validation happening on the blockchain. And in here, we were testing that basically some parameters were correctly passed from off-chain to on-chain and validated against the script. This is, again, a super simple deposit and withdraw funds from smart contracts, but there are some validation rules that needed to happen. And this is the first time that in a public testnet, a person not from IOHK, a pioneer or community member like me and like George, were testing this. No one else had done that thing before. Long story short, after 2.5 hours of messing around, the very last test that we wanted to run, it actually succeeded. And I couldn't resist. I tweeted about it. And I quoted Charles Hoskinson in person. I didn't wait 2 minutes, and they liked the tweet. And that was an unbelievable moment. As an engineer, thinking that this really is, quoting James again, history in the making. Myself and George executed for the first time a smart contract that was actually validating, executing like the core logic, the validation rules. That is the actual script that runs on the smart contracts. And seeing that happening and me able to collect those funds was extremely exciting moment. So if we switch to the next slide, this is just to say what we've been doing so far. Lots of Alonzo Blue testing. We found a possible small bug with the CLI. I think IOHK is already onto it to get it fixed with the representations, with the number of byte representation of integers. This is a very minor one. There are already another couple of bugs that we hit that is about inlineable, or whatever it's called in English for Haskell, and there is a bug already open for that, and they're working against this one. So after a couple of days of quiet, things are getting and starting to move again really quickly, and we know that Alonzo White is just literally around the corner. We wait for a larger update from IOHK early next week. So keep your ears open because news are on the way. So well done, everyone. I'm really grateful to all the people I've been working with. And always on the theme of Plutus, I'm happy to take this one as well. At Gimbalabs, we recently started a Plutus learning group. And maybe, James, you take this one.
Yeah, well, and I mentioned some of the first folks to respond to that earlier. But this is a place where anybody, you really don't have to be an expert, right? We know that Plutus is so brand new that expertise is hard to come by. So we're kind of taking it upon ourselves to build up that expertise in each other by getting together, doing some pair programming, giving ourselves some challenges. So there's an open repository of the problems we're working on, and we're going to start posting our solutions there. Anybody's welcome to contribute to it and use these results as we move along. We'll have more to share on that over the course of the summer as Alonzo White heats up and as we start to see more and more complicated contracts running. Should be fun. And speaking of places where we will need to apply some code to the work that we've been doing, the conversations about the Gimbal token have really been heating up, and it's been really exciting. At Playground on Tuesday, we spent the entire time digging into the values that we would hope to encourage by building whatever the Gimbal tokenomics system ends up being. And it was really good to step back with a bunch of people who were really committed to that question and to really open up. And people really, people expressed their highest hopes, and we're pretty vulnerable. It was very exciting. We put our values on the page. We thought about, which of these is it possible to measure or incentivize, and how might we do that? So just a really good conversation, and knowing that eventually those values are going to be written in code, right? It's an exciting moment to be at, and there's going to be a lot of give and take this summer between elucidating those values and designing a system that hopefully helps us all to deliver on those. So exciting stuff.
Yeah. Thank you to all those that participated on that session. It was like a room full of really smart people, not only talking about tokens, but also philosophy, right? Because we need a bit of that to design a proper system for the DAO we are dreaming. It's been fun.
Yeah. Oh man, every night I just feel so lucky to even get to have these conversations, you know. And so, like always, ongoing work. We keep pushing ahead. You guys, the Dandelion page for the new Gimbalabs.com is looking really good. So we're finalizing some copy there, using the model of Dandelion to help us really elucidate what we want to tell the world about Playground. And what's nice is that as we define those things, it's helping us paint a clearer picture of what the overview of all Gimbalabs projects looks like right now, how we need to communicate those things. And so everybody who's been attending Playground, everybody who has been contributing to conversations in the Discord server, and for the many open garage conversations that happen between individuals and small groups of people, all of this is starting to form a more cohesive picture. And it's right on time, right? This is the next 2 months as we look ahead to really having Alonzo online. We're really excited to start putting all these pieces into place and being able to clearly say how they all fit together. So thanks for everybody who's on that journey. So what's next?
So Alonzo. As I was mentioning earlier on, we know that Alonzo White is on the way. Hopefully we're going to hear from Charles and team already early next week. And that's really extremely exciting, because also means that the number of people starting to interact with the blockchain in this phase is going to get larger and larger. So I guess double the SPOs and many more pioneers and the smart contracts developers. Not to forget that IOHK has also engaged with a number of partners that they are already actively working on Alonzo Blue. And I guess that with Alonzo White, this number of people working on the blockchain and smart contracts is only to increase. And as I mentioned as well, just a few minutes ago, second cohort of Plutus Pioneers starting. I was watching again the first video from Lars for the iteration number 2. And it is absolutely insane. Only after 24 hours, the number of views, 1,200. I'm actually looking at that now on my screen. And the number of comments is absolutely insane. It's happening. People recognize the value, recognize the moment, and recognize the effort of IOHK and Lars and all his team to teach how to write reliable, solid, powerful smart contracts that will run on Cardano. So again, fair play to everyone. Just insane.
So good. Yeah, I'm going to rewatch the entire iteration 2 again, work through that again. And this is, I think it's in a lot of people's best interest to try the same, just because Plutus is changing a little bit still and being rolled out. So alongside the Plutus learning that we're doing here with some projects we're assigning ourselves, a few of us already connected this morning to talk about how valuable that lecture is and the new repository for pioneers. So really cool how it all fits together. And on a personal note, my next step is I'm going to take a few days next week to step back from all this stuff, even though I'm going to want to be checking, hey, when's that White announcement coming, and where's the next Pioneers video? But my little brother had a daughter a few months ago, and I haven't met my niece yet, and I haven't squeezed my brother since he became a dad. So my biggest priority next week is to go do that, and I'm so excited. So we'll be taking a few days to kind of step back from screens, read some books, talk to family, and hold little Lucia. She has an Italian name, and they say for the Italian family members, she's Lucia. Am I saying that right, Giovanni?
Perfect.
She'll be Lucia. So yeah.
And you said it perfect on Andalusian, which is my dialect. Lucia with an S.
Oh man, well, she'll be a dynamo, and she'll be visiting all those places one day, I'm sure, on her adventures.
Congratulations, and welcome to the little one.
Mate.
Thanks, guys. Oh, it's so exciting. So, next steps for our audience.
So, as we recently introduced the Plutus studying group, learning group at Gimbalabs, the first thing that comes to my mind is reach out. If you want to beef up your Haskell skills and your smart contracts development skills, or if you just reach out to us, and let's work together and build more examples and share experience and learn more. So let us know if you want to know more and to learn more and contribute to a very helpful way of learning Haskell and smart contracts.
Yeah. Let's build this puzzle together.
And even if you, for some strange reason, you don't want to learn Haskell, I can't imagine why somebody wouldn't want to do that. Any other ways you want to engage, if you're just trying to better understand what the Cardano protocol can do, if you want to try to figure out if your crazy idea might be worth pursuing, that's really what we're trying to make space for here. So swing by, share ideas. We're really excited about the community that's coming together here, and the openness that we have to new ideas. And you never know who's going to see your idea, chime in, and maybe start to help out. Later today, we're hosting a meeting where we kind of drill down to how we take action on some of these big ideas. So just every week, we're taking new steps to try to make all the big things we want to do become real. And again, that is the work of the next few months as a lot of these new tools become a reality. That said, we are going to take a week off from Playground on Tuesday. I know that here in the States, it's Independence Day weekend, and so a lot of people slow down. Worldwide, is early July a good time to take some perspective?
To take some sun bath.
There you go.
Always.
Yeah. So we'll get the Playground up and running again on the following week, and of course we're so excited for the months to come. So thanks. Yeah, just going to the comments, Juan, thank you, my friend, and Chad, thanks for the good wishes. And thank you, Ryan. Yeah, we're glad you're here. Who wants to take this? Do you think that this is a coincidence or not?
How was that phrase from Bert there? Coincidences are just effects of unknown causes or something like that.
Giovanni's tweet made me pretty bullish last night. I don't know.
That's a good answer. Nothing to do with grayscale adding Ada, of course. I think it's my tweet. I think it's my tweet.
Depends on your priorities.
You know, my 1,200 followers, they've all bought.
Moving mountains.
Thank you, Juan.
And thanks again, Juan. Yep. So do we know this? Do we know how many people signed up for iteration 2?
I know how many joined, and it is 1,800. I don't know if the one that signed up is even higher. So it was 1,500 people joining the first cohort, and they went a little bit higher in the hope that the previous people from the previous cohort will help out with the new members. But I bet you that there were more than 1,800. So 1,800 seems to be the number that got accepted, that got in.
Like you said, watching those comments, I mean, just the energy that people are bringing and the questions that people are asking, it's awe-inspiring. It's really incredible. What other questions do people have? Friday, July 2nd. I'm feeling very curious about Catalyst results for Fund 4. I think Fund 5 registration starts next week, so that's another next step for next week.
Yep, that one's also a critical one for us.
Well, good.
I have a question. I'm gonna take the chance just because we are quiet. About is there any PAB already containerized that we can deploy on Dandelion and start playing?
For pub, you mean an official pub? PAB, Plutus application backend for whoever is following and they are not sure what that is. Not that I'm aware of. At the moment is only everything is about the validation script. So it's an arbitrary complex script that runs on the blockchain, and that's the only one thing we're testing at the moment. With regards to like off-chain code of smart contracts, there isn't anything available just yet. But I wouldn't be surprised if in the next couple of weeks they will start like to rain pubs everywhere. And not pubs where you go for drinks, is a PAB.
I mean,
those ones are welcome anyway.
I heard that in Ireland, it starts to get hard what words people are saying after a certain hour at the pubs. So
exactly. They're still closed at the moment. They're only open for outside the dining / drinking. Yeah. So
someday. Yeah. So actually, we were just talking about this, the three of us, before we went live. First of all, for Fund 4, our original proposal had, budget lines for Roberto and Julie and me as founders, and we will not be taking paychecks from Fund 4 should it be funded. Just because we recognize how essential it is to be funding development work right now. There's nothing more important, and we can wait because we know how important it is to be funding those developers. Fund 5, we should probably go through those proposals on a weekly update as soon as voting starts. And then Fund 6, I'm really excited about, because it's going to be the first time that people within the Gimbalabs community have the option of creating proposals that are in partnership or even as part of Gimbalabs. And it's not going to be just, the original handful of us submitting. So Randall and I had a targeted conversation about this yesterday, about how we might start strategizing as a group and saying, all right, so, we know we've got these collaborators, we know we've got these skills. Let's think about which fledgling projects we want to take up a notch by formally submitting proposals to do that work. The other really interesting question for me is, how can we best use the broader Catalyst community to help us set our priorities, right? We might throw in some ambitious proposals that we're not sure if they will get funded, but we want to find out what the community thinks, right? You can use that democratic process to kind of sense what is the most critical work we can do right now. So all those conversations are to come. It sounds like Fund 6 is going to launch more in August than July. I'm not totally sure. But as we get clarity on those timelines, we'll certainly have those conversations. I think that will be a really good playground meeting to really focus on Fund 6 strategy and what projects we want to take. You guys, thoughts on those funding rounds?
You read my mind. we already been doing that, asking for approval for the community, splitting the Gimbalabs Dandelion proposal into a specific one with its own budget, detailed budget. That's probably the best way to democratize how we, as a catalyst funded proposal and an initiative, what's the best direction we can take for driving adoption on Cardano, right? That's our mission, and empowering as much people as possible out there to use these protocols and tools. So yeah, more on that. I'm excited to build that strategy with so many smart people and philosophers. Oh man. Thank you. You know, I don't even know how to speak English, so I'm really humbled by this. I think I will get a message asking if I'm in for that. I think I read that was a prerequisite to get into that cohort. Thank you so much, Juan. I really appreciate your support. If I have I have the support from the community, and the community thinks I'm of some utility in those positions, I will try and do my best to do it.
And so, I mean, yeah, for anybody who doesn't know, the first round of Catalyst Circle elections happened at Town Hall on Wednesday. There's one more round of voting for funded projects, and so people within those funded proposals will get together and talk about who they want to send as a delegate next Tuesday. But I think one of the beautiful things about Circle right now is that this first cohort of Circle members is only going to have a 3-month term. And one of their tasks is to decide the parameters of future Catalyst circles, including how voting will work and how long it lasts for. And I think that short term is a really wonderful thing right now, right? Because when somebody stays in a position for too long, that they can kind of become entrenched in that power position. And so hopefully Circle is always a revolving cast of people who can bring their expertise. And I saw the results this morning. I forget who the first pool operator selected was.
Oh, where are those published?
It might have been in Telegram.
Oh, I missed that.
And yes, this is one of the things that I need to work on for sure. We need an internal calendar. And so thinking like this is all part of like the systems and communication stuff that we're working on is what's appropriate to share on the public facing website, what's important to share within a community of people who have shown that they want to contribute. So just building some kind of underlying systems as we make these decisions about where these calendars should live. It's really, really important.
Oh yes, here it is.
You got it.
On official Project Catalyst chat channel on Telegram. And there is also a forum post. Ooh, I see Julie's there. And some James.
Where are you?
I'm not sure if these are the results or what. I see 3 pie charts,
Okay.
and I see Julie is in one. James, plain James, is another one. Not sure what is this.
It was Sosha had a really nice recommendation for Julie. He also deserves to be shouted out at the voting session for tool maintainers. That was really nice. Loris, it says, was selected. What pool does Loris run?
I don't know.
Good. All right. Well, we're just sitting here hacking away now. We could probably call this one. But happy Friday, everybody. Hope it's a sweet summer weekend wherever you are. Or a good winter weekend if you're down south.
Thank you very much, everyone. Have a great week and a great weekend.
Take care.
Stay tuned. Bye.